Well, today's video, I'm going to be playing with that AHP TIG welder. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see how it goes. Alright guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to attempt to just mess with this, just get my feet wet. I've watched a bunch of videos. I have a general idea, but I have never touched any sort of TIG welding before. You guys know we've been messing with our Eastwood MIG that we have on the channel, but that's about it. So I'm just getting everything out of the box, and this setup is super complete, but all I want to try to do right now is maybe just tack some stuff and just, you know, try to just not even lay a bead. Like, I'm not even going to try and use any filler rod, but just kind of mess with it and just on some mild steel and see what it looks like and see what it does. So I figure I'm probably going to end up dipping the tip. It's only inevitable. So I just am going to get a few of these tungstens sharpened so I don't have to keep going back to sharpen it, so I can just swap them out. So I'm just using the old school way. I just put a brand new grinding wheel on here since you don't want to contaminate anything. So I'll just dedicate this one to my tungstens, and then I'm just going to sharpen up, well, I don't know, I got a whole pack here. I'll sharpen up a few of them and just using the drill, and you can see I just did that one. So sharpened it like that. It was originally like that. Let me do a few of them. All right, so I got a bunch of tungstens all sharpened now. I think I did, what did I do, 5 of them? No, 6 of them. So I got 6 tungsten so that hopefully I can just start practicing, get frustrated, and put it away. But like I said, I used a brand new grinding wheel so that we don't have any contamination, and we'll see what we can do. All right, so I'm gonna get a little workstation going here. I'm gonna put on this torch because this one, from everything I've learned, it's better to probably learn on this just standard one. My whole kit that I got used came with these really fancy ones, and they said if you dip it, then you could wreck the mesh and stuff like that. So I don't want to mess with any of that. And at the same time too, these larger style cups and stuff, they use a lot more argon. So for me learning right now, I'm just going to use this. It's all technique anyways. So as number 7, I probably only have to run, I guess, double that. So about 14 CFM, I believe. So it'll be a little bit better for us. We'll be, you know, going through less expendables. So I'm going to swap over this torch handle, and then we'll get everything set up. Okay, it's actually the next day. I got caught up with some stuff, but I just got everything kind of set up. Again, I'm pretty new. I also have, and just so you guys know, I have TIG gloves. So they're a lot thinner than my MIG gloves. So these ones are brand new. They actually came with my MIG, surprisingly. So it's kind of cool that when I bought my previous MIG, the previous owner had these and never used them, as you can see. So I got these thinner TIG gloves, and they're recommended because you can feel more. They're a lot thinner so that you can actually work with, you know, such smaller things and the rod and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna mess with this for a second. Right now you can see I've got my bottle hooked up. I've got, since I have a number 7 cup, I put about 15 CFM on here, and I'm gonna try to mess with it in the settings. It's got like a million different knobs, so I'm trying to figure out exactly how it all works, but I'm gonna play with it for a minute, and I'm not gonna use any filler rod. I'm just gonna try to lay a bead pretty much, or just, you know, draw a straight line, and we'll see. Like I said, I gotta mess with it for a few minutes here before we get settled in. Okay guys, so it's the next day. Last night I got frustrated with it a little bit, as you could probably expect, but I was trying to test on my little rocket ship pipe here. These are all my TIG tests, and even on this corner here. So some of them I was just trying to draw a straight line, and I will say my first time I have not dipped the tungsten once, so I guess I have pretty good control of things because I did all of this stuff without dipping the tungsten in once into anything. And then I also went through almost this whole rod just trying different stuff. But what's frustrating to me is, I think because it's a pipe, and I don't know, probably if you're a welder you probably know better, but because this is so thin and it's a pipe, it's pretty much like I had a hard time trying to lay filler material or rod on top like that. I kind of laid it up, but every other time it was just like it was making a puddle, but it was just laying it flat. And it seems to be like, it's not even really, I guess it's sinking inside a bit, but I was having a hard time having it lay up. So I don't know if that's because it's not like back purged, but I just did this and that looks super fancy. This was just no filler rod, and I did filler rod right there, and that's what I produced, which I think looks pretty decent for never doing this before. But yeah, when I try it over here, I can't seem to lay it, but over here, these are my first 2 welds that I actually think look like a weld. That, you know, I didn't add any filler rod, but that one there, I did add filler rod. So let me do a few more tests like that and see what I can produce, I suppose. One other side note is this machine does, you know, you can plug it into a regular 110 and it also has the 220, but I don't have any 220 here. So I just been plugging it into the regular outlet, but it's kind of confusing. I honestly had to Google this. So this is your amps knob, and the highest I can get it up to is 98. So you'll see if I turn it down, it goes down. But the highest amperage I can get out of the wall on the 110 is, you know, almost 100 amps, which I think should be enough for our thin stuff. I'm able to, you know, do this, but you know, if you wanted to do some more serious work. But let me know if you guys are weld experts, if that, I guess 100 amps more or less should be enough to weld our stainless steel pipe that we want to do ultimately, because that's what I do want to do, and that's why I'm practicing on a tube. But I think I'm gonna have to either get those, like I've seen those things, those plugs where you can hook up the feed line to your other side so I can back purge this, or I've seen them also use tin foil and then just stick the hose in there as well, which apparently works half decent. So one way or another, but yeah, let me keep practicing over here. So those two weren't nearly as straight as my first, but yeah, just been, you know, practicing dabbing and whatnot, and that rod has been getting pretty small too. I tried doing one more over here to see if I could get any better at it, but what I'm gonna do right now is I just have the spare pipe, so I'm gonna see if I'm able to fuse that to this one and just see how hard it is. They're the same diameter. So I'm gonna hold them up against each other and see if I can't do something decent on this and just practice on some piping, see how it comes out. Well, I did it. I dipped the tungsten finally. So I'll swap it out to a different one. So that was kind of interesting. I was trying to see how to bridge the gap since there's a small gap there. I finally got it to pool over. I think some guys, when they do this, they weld it like you have to have it on, you know, all metal. So if you had an all metal table, and then this one would actually be conducted. But I feel like this one wasn't conducted, even though I butted them up, until I actually fused them together. So let's see if it's easier to join them up here with that little bit of filler rod. I gotta get a new rod in a second. Well, it's definitely not weld porn, but I was able to fill that gap going along there. So I'm just kind of trying to get used to filling gaps and seeing how that works on this. I don't know if TIG is really meant to fill gaps. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. I'll probably have to experiment more with this, but let me get another stick because I ended up using every last bit of that one. So I also found, since my kit was used, I found some 1/8 rod, which looks a little bit easier to use than this really thin stuff than I was trying to use. So I'm gonna try this 1/8 rod just on here to see if this is easier to fill this larger gap. I'm gonna assume that it is, but let's see. Well, I can definitely say that the 1/8 filler rod is a lot easier. I purposely made a hole. I just kind of wanted to see what it would do. So I just stepped on the pedal full throttle and just blew that hole right through it. And I just, like I said, I honestly did it on purpose. I just want to see, just so I can kind of know, you know, where's the limits on this stuff and what's too far and all that stuff. So I managed to fill it across, not the prettiest thing, but just playing and, you know, trying to see how this whole thing works more than anything. I don't know if you guys can see that, but definitely a lot more material up high. And over here you can see it's laying a lot flatter there versus over here it's a lot higher. But still playing with stuff. Let me try the skinny rod again and see how we make out. So here's the welds I just did. I think you can tell on this one there's not enough heat in it because it's not laying as flat. It's kind of sitting up high as opposed to that one that I originally did. And then I also did that one because you can see this one over here too kind of lays down a little bit better. This, I guess, third one from the camera. So 1, 2, 3, and then the last one I did was the fourth one. So, and again, you probably could prep everything a little bit better and clean it a little bit better, but I'm really just trying to get my technique. I'm not trying to worry too much about the perfect weld just yet. I'm just getting a feel for things and how it all, you know, works and stuff, and dabbing and holding the torch and all that stuff. But I'm gonna keep messing with it. I'm gonna keep this video a little bit short for you guys, but here's my settings currently if anybody knows a bunch about this. So I have it on torch, TIG. I have it on DC, I have it on 2T, and I have it on no pulse. And then post flow, I have it 3 seconds. I've heard to keep it between 3 and 5. A lot of these other knobs are just AC pulse frequency. We're not using any of the pulse, so none of these 3 knobs apply. And then there's start amps and end amps, which don't matter because we're not using the trigger. So pretty much just this one and the post flow are the only 2 we really have to worry about on DC. Like I said, I got 3 seconds, and I've got this one cranked because I can only get 100 amps out of this running on the 110. But I'm gonna keep playing with this, you guys, and I'm kind of just using it here and there. And also, it seems to be running decent with the 15, running on about 15 on that gauge there when I'm running. So running on the number 7 size cup, and it seems to be half decent, but I'm still learning as well. But if you guys have any constructive criticism for me, definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. And I'm probably doing a lot of things wrong. Actually, I know I'm doing a lot of things wrong, but I'm just learning self-taught here from some YouTube videos as well. So thanks to all the other YouTubers out there that are making videos. I'm trying to learn from them as well and put everything together without having some sort of person training me here as well. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys know about welding, give me a comment, and we'll see you guys on the next video.